Good afternoon, everybody. This is Chrisi from SolsticeATR and Vulcan Capital Research. Today is October 5th, 2019. I will be covering the overall market. But first of all, I'm going to call this: Does the Federal Reserve Board, on all the speculation in the overall market, has the ability to fix every plunge that happened in the market in the last 14 years? Let's start first by covering the four indices, the combination, then one by one. I'll keep it as simple as I can, and I want to make it very understandable for the average consumer out there to look at a chart and understand what the chart is telling them. This is the weekly chart for the overall market on the Fortune 500 company, the NASDAQ 100, the Russell 2000, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the 30 companies in the USA. We have been traveling in an up channel for the last, since 2019, going back and forth, thinking that the Feds will keep this market up. Every time there was interest rates hike or interest rates low, there has been a reaction since June of 2019. Reaction 1 plus the Terra 4, reaction 2, now we got reaction 3. On the weekly chart, it's still bullish. Let's just go down to the daily chart because we got a hammer, and I'll show you what the difference is. On the daily chart, let's take a look. Let's zoom in from here since April, and we'll go through it bit by bit. This is the reset, heading higher, came back consolidated for a while in this area, which we were above, let's call it the 38,650, 700 area. We went, looked above it, came back in, we fell through on the PMI, then plus the unemployment rates, and the federal board said, you know what, we'll be able to help. We may keep interest rates lower, and as well as, the unemployment rate, since it's weaker, it dragged back the market back up after all this noise that happened on, this is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, a big reversal from the 200 SMA and the range in the mid consolidation of this shoulder here. This breakout came back, retested this consolidation, this box, the lower section of it. We bounced off the 200 SMA, looked below it, and came back up inside this channel that we had drawn from prior. Are we bullish? Friday was a bullish day. We have a small gap here, which we're going to mark and leave it on the charts, because it was, every time we have a gap, it's always either revisited in the future. So far, we got to keep an eye on the channel that it created, and let's see where we can head from here. This is going to be on the daily chart. This box, we're going to keep it there. We're going to redo this channel here. We're going to take this channel out and redraw it, remove drawing. We're going to pick another channel and draw it from wick to wick and see if we can break out, come up to this up channel here. We're going to take this candle here, which is the high, to this one here, and we're going to look for this target up here in the 39 to 175 area. If we can break, or do we lose this channel and come back down to fill the box, or continue higher to the upper channel? Let's go one by one. I'm going to start with the NASDAQ/NQ. And the NASDAQ 100, if we can look at it a little bit more in detail, we're just going to look at the daily. We're going to zoom in from this area from April and look all the way up on this move down. This was the consolidation. We were still in an up channel. We had this channel drawn. We looked at it and we broke below it and came back up and closed almost at the prior highs of this consolidation. If this is going to continue, do we fill the channel to the upside, come back in, or do we reject? Let's just grab this candle here, move this channels out, remove drawing. We're going to redraw it again. Here's the candle here, the prior high, the nearest low. And since we are close to this channel, if we can clear the 61.8, our target is the prior double top here and this upper level here. So our support, which we're going to look for here, this is my oval, or do we reject and come back down to the lower channel? So first of all, we'll take an oval, grab an oval. We're going to mark this territory here. And we're going to keep it that way to look to see if we can get up here. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the YM. The Dow Jones Industrial Average had came back below the 200 SMA. We came into this consolidation and we broke 1, 2, 3 in this area here. Look, we're almost there in this area. So we still have this gap here, which I didn't talk about the NASDAQ. We're going to mark it. And our target is basically the upside. Let's draw a channel. Once again, remove drawing. And our target would be, remove drawing. And our target should be up in this area, the double consolidation from the prior out there. That's the oval, which would be these two areas and the prior high here. If we can break, or we come back down through the channel. So let's draw a channel. We grab the high. We grab the low. And if we break out of this one, we look to the high. If we reject through here above below the 61A and come back in, look for these three candles for support. Remember, when I draw these channels, they have overnight action. I probably forgot to put the overnight action in there. So this is why you're getting those gaps in the charts. Let's take a look at that. Small cap, the Russell, the RTY. This is the one that starts to move first to be bullish and to start the move to be bearish. On Thursday, the Russell acted a little bit more stronger than most of them when it pushed up. It cleared this gap. Now we are up here in this remember, this was a lot of consolidation. In order for the Russell to continue, still have to reach the 38%, the 50%, and the 61.8. But if I grab a channel from here all the way down to this wick, so it's going to be around the 50% fit. So we'll grab this candle here to this candle here, or we can grab this one here. That should be it. So that's about the 50% fib and the 38.2. So we have to clear the 50 simple moving average, and we have to clear the 61.8. So let's just put a channel. We're going to put an oval, and we're going to draw it right in this area. So I'm going to use the upper section of this area to see if we can get there, because if you do a sharper one from here to here, which would be different. So let's just do one more and we'll change the color on it. I grabbed the oval by accident. So we'll grab this channel here, this one here, and that's way lower. And you can see that's the 50% fib. And what we can do is just mark it with a smaller channel. You edit the properties on the TOS platform. You come in here, change the channel to this, and you make it with a different color, and we'll keep it yellow. So this is the channel we have to clear. Let's take a look at the Fortune 500 company /ES. Okay, we're almost there. Okay, the Fortune 500 company had a nice move on Friday, and this is the gap in it. So what we're going to do, we're going to mark this gap here. It's between the 29.11 and the 29.17. Oops, I'm using a channel by accident. So we'll need to get a box. We'll highlight this area from here to this area here. Come on, go across. So this is the area we have to remember in the future we need to fill. If we continue higher, we get to this upper channel. So it should be about the 80. And if we can clear it, we'll go to the upper two distributions here. We're going to use an oval instead of a box to the upper prior high, because you had these two doubles and you had this high here. If we this time we break above this channel and don't come back in to this area, we go higher, and that would be the second target. Remember, we're going to get to here and eventually here if we are lucky, if we can break out. If we don't break out, we fall through here. Look for the backside of this channel. Remember, we missed the 200 SMA. We have these candles right here, which we got a wick. So what we can do is grab this candle here to this candle here and draw a channel. This one doesn't have the overnight included in it. So what I'm going to do, go Style, in the setting, we go to the futures, and you highlight the overnight action and push apply, and you eventually will get the overnight action. See, this doesn't show you the gaps. This is why today I used without the overnight. I'm one of those guys that will look at always the overnight action, where the highs are, where the lows are compared to the day before. If we have a breakout, a breakdown, do we look to fill the gap to the upside? Do we look to fill the gap to the downside, or continue higher or continue lower according to what the trend is giving us? So trade what you see, not what you think, and please do not date the trade or fall in love with an equity or an option or a future when you are on the wrong side. Let the winner run. So let's go down, and I'm going to break this into the volume profile to give you a little bit better idea what I'm looking for and why we use this. I'll do that at the end, but I want to show you a couple of instruments that got upgraded. I want to keep it simple, so I'm just going to go through them very fast. And this is AAPL. Apple on the upgrade was, sitting at the 215 area, came down, looked below this channel, and eventually broke up on Thursday, closed in this area, got a consolidation, then we gapped up and stayed above. As long as we're above the 223.75 and continuing above the 226.42, eventually I think Apple can break out and go to the prior high on the annual charts, which was up in this area, guys, okay? So we can probably push higher. So keep an eye on Apple. Let's take a look at Amazon. Amazon is, trying to come back, but, since it's in the consumer product industry, remember, we looked below, tested almost the 161 or the 50% fib, U-turned above the 1715 like it did here. Here, if this is consolidation, we eventually break the 50 area. I think we go back to the back side of that 50% fib. Let's move these fibs out of here. Remove drawing so you guys can see it. So if it breaks from here to here, that's your support. If we can clear this area, that 50 area, I would look for the backside of the 38.2, the 50%, and the backside of this channel, which will meet the 18 and the 200 SMA and the 50 in this area, between the 50 and the 61A, in case the market wants to continue higher. If it does not, be careful of it. Let's take a look at Facebook. I'm just going to keep it very small. Facebook did the same thing, but keep an eye on the 61.8 on my daily chart to see if you can clear. We're already at the 38.2. If we can clear the 18 SMA, basically because you broke out of this channel on Thursday, look for the 50 and the 18 to reset in this area. If it falls through back to the 177, 176.50, look out of Facebook. Google. This is Google L. I just kept it up because I like Google L and Amazon myself. I've been watching them very closely with Apple. We looked below, we hit the 116 SMA, we hit support, which is the prior consolidation in this area and the prior breakout here. We came down, retested it, and looking to go back up. We hit the 50% fib. Let's see if we can clear the 18 SMA and get above 1220. 1230, so we can continue back up to the upside of this channel, because this channel is already being tested. So that's Google. Let's take a look at NFLX. Netflix is trying to get its act together. I do like that. It's, right now it's on the 18 simple moving average. It did it here once. It tried to look up and it failed. Now it's touching it. If we can finish this to the upside, I think this channel would be clear. The target would be this channel up here in the 50 simple moving average, and I'd like to see Netflix around the 295 to the 302 area, 300 area, if there's continuation. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla, they were supposed to deliver their vehicles. There was a leak that they're going to have meet their requirements on their delivery over 100,000 cars. And unfortunately, that day when the report came out, the next day it fell through because it didn't meet the requirement on delivery, and it's consolidating below the 50 and it's touching the 38, because if it falls through this channel, look for the backside of this oval before in the back of the DMI, the 176. If Tesla does something great and something comes out because it's in this consolidation, I do not like the range around the 225, 220. I either like it in this area to go for long or above this area to continue higher, because it did it once here. Let's see, call it once. Consolidation fell through, went back up and fell through again because of all the noise that's happening in the company. If you trade in it, try not to swing trade it. Actively trade it would be better off on Tesla. Let's take a look at when. I'll look at gold and oil, and we'll go from there. When is basically baselining here. If you notice, it's just going sideways here. If you clear that 114 area, look for the 120 eventually in a breakout, which is in this gap, and follow through. If it falls, go back to the support area and look for one more time bounce. Let's take a look at gold, GC, oops, slash GC. GC, I was actually, remember, I was telling everybody we got to come back below the 1508 to that oval area. We came and retested this area where we broke out of. You see this area here? I was looking a little bit more lower if it is going to consolidate, gold, and it's going to find its way for a breakout. We're going to fill this gap and continue higher, because this round area, here, if it cannot clear the 1508 and stay above it and clear this channel here, look for a breakout back to the upside in this area. And what I'll do, I'll put an oval here for the upper target. And if it falls through, because you can do a down channel here, from this candle to this candle, it'll be parallel to this. Let's just grab a channel. And this is what I want you to do. If it falls through, because remember, gold is being acting with oil on, with interest rates. When interest rates are lower, gold seems to act to the upside. When interest rates are higher, gold seems to tend lower. If it cannot clear the 1500 area, 1508, and falls back through, look for the backside of this channel down here and the support before we do anything. What I'll do, I'll grab an oval here and we'll put it right there. So either way, I am still bullish on gold. So remember, we bounced off this area, which didn't touch the bottom of that consolidation. It touched this candle and U-turned back up. If it cannot clear this channel to the upside, look for the backside halfway. See if it gets the 38% bounce again in that consolidation to continue higher. And let's take a look at CL. CL basically have caused the most pain to most people that were bullish on it due to the Saudis Iran crisis 2 weeks ago, about getting their oil hit. All of a sudden, oh my God, the price is going to 70. This was the news. And eventually the Saudis were able to fix the problem in a week to two. They basically gapped it up. The next day fell through, consolidated in that area, went 2-3 days sideways, tried to look up, and eventually fell through, filled the gap, and fallen below the 54.55. Let's call this 56.50 to 54.50. That was the major consolidation back and forth, and we did fall below the 54.55 area. In order for oil to continue higher, you need to get back in this range. I don't know why the pumps and oil prices are still high, our dollar's higher. We should be able to have oil at a lower price in California, but unfortunately here we're paying between $4.15 to $4.25 a gallon on a super. So this is not good having the prices of oil at this per gallon. So hope they come up to their senses in California and they'll bring back oil to the $3.70, the 365 area would be more efficient for people to get around. So I'm going to take a channel and draw this one and leave it alone, see what it does. And let's grab this high here. And we'll grab this low here and see if we can clear it to get back up here. Okay? So let's go back to ES in a minute and we'll be done with this video and I look forward to seeing you in our chat room. Let's go to the 15-minute just to show you that the action in the overnight. This is the action in the overnight. What I want you to be aware of, this area here, there was a gap in the overnight. We marked it here because we put this between 11 area and the 18 area. There's a gap here. And when we looked below the 68 area, we had a nice clean wick, which was around 5 points. So we came, looked to the lower side and continued higher. So the 55 to the 59 and a quarter, this is 4 and a quarter handles, nice clean wick. This has got a nice clean, distribution, which is light volume, and we continued higher. Anything above the 68 area to 64.75 in this area, that's going to be considered good support in order to carry us higher. But the only thing we have between the 1175 and the 1850 area, there's a small gap we have to watch if we can continue higher. And number three, we had three different distributions on Friday. And let's put the volume profile up or the monkey bars and that will show it to us. Instead of regular standard candle, we'll go to the monkey bars. The monkey bars allows us to see where most of the distribution is on daily basis. This is the push down. And basically we closed in the lower area. This was the open, this is the low. And we opened and closed in the same area. We came down, we got a clean bottom, and we pushed up to close here. And look at the gap between this open here and the close here. So this small distribution here, we went higher. We got one area here, that's a small gap. We got another gap here on the last push from 47, 46 area. We got another small gap in this area. So what I'd like to do, make sure you keep an eye on 29.47 to 29.45, low volume, 29.40 to 29.40 and a quarter, and the last but not least is 29.2075, 29.17 and a half low volume. But the overall volume profile has shifted higher. The low area was supposed to be in this area, value area low and value area high, and we continued, the puck stayed in this area, so the distribution didn't end up to be moving to the 36 area here, 50, and eventually we had another distribution here. The value area high, I think, and the POC has shifted due to the move and the momentum in the market on Friday on a grind up. So I don't consider the 25.50 or 75 to be the area on the short term to look for support, but what I would look for first thing on Monday to see if we stay above the 29.3650 where I think the puck was supposed to settle, but unfortunately it didn't shift higher. So the value area high is around 42, value area low is about 29.22. Keep an eye on these two areas, the 36.50 and the 25.50 for everybody to make sure that we stay in the most volume profile distribution. If you get to the gaps, be careful of them because we can fall back through. So I hope you enjoy this week video. I look forward to seeing you next week at SolsticeATR and Balkan Capital Research. Remember to check us out on the website or YouTube. It's free to subscribe. Just hit the like button if you do. If not, put your comments in there. Let us know what you think. And at the same time, you can check us out on our regular chat room, which is Discord. Take care and over and out.